Hey everybody, welcome back to another Napkin Numbers. Today we're going to get into a few different topics. Mainly we're going to center on buyers now. We haven't done that. I don't think we've ever done that, have we, Rahsaan?
No, not yet.
Yeah. So let's do it. You know what? We work with buyers on referral, and most of the time when we're working with somebody, it usually starts off with, "Hey, I've been working W-2 for a company for a long time. I'm in my mid 40s. I've saved up some money. I've had some success, and I'm tired of doing that. I want to do something for myself." And the lead foot is, I want to buy a business. And as they start to walk through the things they're interested in, it turns out that they want to buy a business that's basically what they've been doing for the last decade or two, except for they own the company. And then 5 years later, they turn around and say, "That's not really what I wanted to do. Actually, I wanted to get away from that." So one of the things that we've been doing, oh gosh, in the last couple of years, I think as after COVID really kind of changed people's perspective on what work was giving them a little bit of exercise, a little bit of homework. So when somebody says, "I want to buy something," I think we start telling them there are people you should talk to, right? You should talk to your lenders, finding out what financing looks like, what they have to be prepared for, down payment, management resumes, so forth. They should be talking to friends, talking to family, people that know them, talk to other advisors. But I think most importantly, what they need to do is understand what's that ideal opportunity look like if it walked in their door, as opposed to, "I'm really used to doing this, so I feel comfortable doing it." That might be the right answer, it might not be. So part of what we ask people when they walk in the door and say, "I want to buy a company," is to sit down, and we give them a simple task. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's, here's two questions, and I want you to put it on paper and start to write down the qualities of what you like to do and what you're good at. And this starts to get people to think, right? It starts to say, "Oh, well, I'm really good at these technical skills. I am an engineer. I'm in process management. I have supply chain. I've got an accounting background. I'm into woodworking. I'm going to do all of these things that say, here are skills that I have," right? And then it's, what do I like to do? What gets you excited in the morning when you get up and you say, "Oh gosh, I get to mow the lawn today." Some people, that's amazing. That's exciting. Some people like to be in the garden. They like to be outdoors. Some people like to be indoors. They don't want to be bothered. Some people say, "I like to cook. I like to solve problems. I like being around airplanes and here in the Northwest. I love to travel." And so these things that you're passionate about, it's good to know those, because now when you start putting down these different items and start looking at all these attributes together, now you can start expanding what you might be interested in a company that you never thought would be interesting to you before. So to give you an example, we had a gentleman that recently, he's been an engineer for a long time. He said, "I just don't want to be an engineer anymore. I love the work, but I want to do more." And I wasn't quite sure what more was. So I took this first step. I went online. I started looking at businesses, thinking, what sounds exciting to me. After doing this exercise, and he had to admit, he said, "I thought it would be easy." So I started writing things out. And then I'm like, wow, I think I'm going to have to get my wife, and she's going to have to start helping me out with things that I'm good at or things that I get really excited about, because you may not always know that yourself. And as he went through it, he started to define the things that made him excited about this next step in his life. And from there, we started to say, well, how can we turn that into a business? How can we monetize those dreams, those hopes? So for him, it started to turn into more of, well, I like to cook, and I'm not a chef, but I'm really good at simplifying things. I'm good at being in leadership. I'm good at managing processes. So that leans into my experience, and I would be okay with running a restaurant. So for every individual person, and this was something he hadn't thought of before, it's like, I never thought I'd own a restaurant. By having these different attributes, you can start thinking of new ways to be successful or to own a business. I think one of there's probably three important things that I see with buyers. One, you have to have vision. So when you've decided, I want to buy a company, I want to do this for the rest of my life, or at least this next chapter in my life, you have to know where you want to go. because buying a business isn't just about you anymore. Now that you own the business, it's about everybody else first. And they are the families that you are now part of and taking care of. And every 2 weeks, you pay them first, and you've got what's left over if there's anything. So you have to have that vision of saying, I want to go to this destination. I think the next thing is you really have to have discipline. You have to be able to wake up in the morning and say, here's the path, here's all the steps that get me to my vision, right? And that's how you track your success. I've got this discipline. It says, I want to be here. I start making the steps toward it. And I think the third component of that is really that passion. So the passion comes in when you wake up in the morning, the whole world seems against you, and you're just like, I thought I had discipline, but I just want to go back to bed. And because you're passionate about what you do, you're able to get up and say, okay, this is one of those tough days. And this is what makes me want to be disciplined, which makes me want to get to my vision. So that vision, that discipline, that passion, all of that starts to go back to, what do you like to do? And then what are you good at? And it starts to become a bigger picture that as a buyer, when you can refine that for yourself, it'll be much easier to spot that right opportunity when it walks in the door.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll add to that was, perfect, is keep an open mind. You never know, opportunities are passed on from one person to the next. If you in your mind say, hey, I don't ever want to touch anything that's in manufacturing or distribution or service-based business, you really could be missing out on the perfect opportunity for you. If you've identified, hey, I do like working with people, or I don't like working with people, those things are going to help. And if you want to buy a business and scale it, build a legacy company for your family, and it's a service-based business and you've got 10 employees and you don't really like having a lot of people, well, scaling that's going to be a challenge for you, because in order to scale a service-based business, you need what? People. You probably want to be in more something like distribution or, manufacturing, where you can scale pretty heavily with fewer. But now it all comes down to efficiency and supply, right? So keep an open mind. I never thought that Scott and I would be LED lighting manufacturers and EV charging station manufacturers and own a company that's in battery boosters for the automotive space. But here we are. We found opportunities that fit what we like to do in industries that we never thought of coming out the gates when we were buyers looking for stuff. So keep an open mind, because you never know. The stuff that you think today you might not like could be the perfect opportunity for you tomorrow.
And with that, thanks for coming back for another Napkin Numbers. We're looking forward to 2024 being a great year and rolling out some more episodes for everybody. So have a great holiday season, and we'll catch you in 2024. Remember to like, subscribe, hit all those buttons, and we'll talk to you soon.